When I go up for trial, you'll get up on the witness stand and you'll tell them I should be released to spend my last remaining days with Debbie.
I will, Rita. You know I will. Now, look, is there anything else I could do for you?
No. Just leave me here. I'll be okay.
You bitch.
I need to ask you something about your husband.
Ray?
Mm-hmm.
What would you want to know about him and why?
What are his weaknesses?
Other women, drinking, and money.
What's his favorite drink?
Whiskey. And you're out of questions until you tell me why you want to know.
I want to get something on him. Something to make him look like a liar on the witness stand.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Meadows. Hey, I hope you don't mind. Deborah offered.
Oh, not at all. Help yourself. I think it's time to celebrate.
I'll drink to that.
I thought he'd never pass out. He sure can drink, that's for sure.
I know. Come on, let's get him in the cellar.
Here we go.
Come on.
This is the deal. Either you take back your story to the police about Rita shooting you, or you're a dead man.
You two dames are crazy.
You're suspended, pending a complete investigation of your conduct in this prison. More women are coming forward to complain. The latest is Holly Warner.
Who is it?
The housekeeper.
Come on in. Well, hello, Holly. This is a pleasant surprise. Come on in.
Hey, change your mind about that walk?
Jerry, he's here.
Who?
Fisher. The guard from the prison.
The one who raped you?
Yes.
Where is he?
Over in that cottage.
All right, I'll take care of it.
Be careful.
Hey. What the hell?
I want you out of here, Fisher, now.
Oh, I know you. You're the guy that came to visit Holly Warner over at the prison.
That's right, and I'm the guy who's gonna kill you if you ever get near her again.
Hold on, all right? I came up here to do some fishing and to recuperate from a stabbing. I didn't know Warner worked her till she knocked on my door.
Well, you can do your fishing somewhere else.
No, I can't. If I move away from here now, it'll be admitting that you scared me away. You don't scare me.
Is that right?
Hey, you scumbag! I'm gonna rip your head off! Break it up.
What's going on here?
Not a thing. This fella's just leaving.
What did he do?
He's the animal who raped Holly.
Is that so? Hold it, look, I'm going to use your phone because I'm going to talk to my lawyer about this cop and these threats he's making.
Nobody's threatening you.
The hell I'm not.
Shut up, Jerry. I'll handle this. Look, you're booked in here legally. You can enjoy your vacation as long as you don't bother anybody else. The minute you do, you're out of here.
All right, but you just keep this hothead away from me because I will sue Cedar Lake Inn right down to its foundations. Excuse me?
I can't believe you're letting him stay
Wait.
here.
Do you remember what you said to me when Ben Cronin checked into the inn and I wanted to throw him out? You said, when the court finds him guilty, I'll move on him. But until then, you know the law.
Well, the hell with the law.
What are you listening to?
Oh, nothing. Holly, I can't believe Fisher had the audacity to show up here.
He'll never leave me alone.
He wouldn't dare do anything, especially since you agreed to testify he raped you.
That can only make things worse.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey,
You okay, Holly?
has he gone yet?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Jerry, why don't you take Holly a nice walk down by the lake?
No, I'd rather stay here.
Oh, well, if you'll excuse me, I got a lot of things to do.
Do you know where Ms. Meadows is, Crystal?
I'll see if I can find her.
I'm gonna get rid of him for you, I promise. Let's talk about something happier. If you won't elope with me, then how about moving the wedding date up?
How much sooner do you want to do this?
How about 3 weeks from today?
We can't get married in 3 weeks.
Why not?
There's too much to do. Weddings take a lot of planning. It's taken days just to set up our engagement party.
Well, we don't need to be so elaborate. Let's just do it.
I need the time
For what?
to be sure I'm everything you want me to be. You know what I mean.
Oh, honey, I've told you about that. If it's the sex, it can wait if it has to.
Oh, Jerry, I love you.
Are they still in the cellar?
Yeah. Did you hear the gunshot?
Half the state must have heard it. I had to burst balloons to try and cover it up.
I don't think they're gonna be able to make my father say he lied about Mom shooting him. He's just too tough.
Well, I'm going down there. Jerry's in the dining room sitting right outside the cellar door.
What's he doing here?
To see Holly. You wait here.
Don't scream.
You've killed him. I knew this would go wrong.
No, we haven't killed him. He fainted when he thought we were going to bump him off.
Well, just keep it quiet, because Jerry's right upstairs with Holly.
Jerry, why didn't you get rid of him?
I tried. Seems like we're getting rid of way too many people around here lately.
He's coming too.
Oh, no. Welcome back, Mr. Jones. I gotta get out of here.
All in good time. First, you're gonna make that statement.
Or else you'll have a new belly button. All right, Mr. Jones, sit over there.
You lied, didn't you? You almost got your own father killed, didn't you?
Yeah. But you put Mom back in prison.
You never change, do you, Debbie? You always choose your mother over me.
Hey, sit down.
Right now, what's important is that you make that statement that you lied about Rita shooting you.
I don't get it. You three would all kill for Rita. What's so damn special about her?
She was our top dog in prison.
And we'd kill to help our top dog.
It's a vow women take when they're locked up together. I'll arrange for my lawyer to come over and take your statement, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, suppose I tell your lawyer what you crazies have been trying to do to me.
He won't believe you, so don't be a hero or Sissy will shoot you.
Remember, we have nothing to lose.
They mean it, Daddy.
John Randall, please. Patricia Meadows. Fine, thanks, Mr. Randall. Listen, there's been an interesting development in the Rita Jones case. I'm wondering if you might be able to come over to the inn. Well, her husband came here and said that he lied about her shooting him.
What kind of bait have you got? Well, well, well. This place is just full of old friends.
What are you doing here?
I'm recovering from a stab wound that your mother gave me. Not the first time she tried to kill me, you know.
It's too bad she keeps failing.
Well, they got her in a place now where she's not going to be able to hurt anybody else.
I talked to my mom during that riot. She told me you drove her to it.
She'd say anything to save her rear, wouldn't she?
And you wouldn't? Here, there's going to be an inquiry about how you treat the women, especially my mother.
I'm not worried. I'll be back on that job soon enough.
I've asked to testify during that inquiry. If they let me, I'll tell them how you kept me from visiting my mother week after week.
Good. You do that. In the meantime, give me some bait. I'll see what the fishing's about around here.
The bait shop's closed.
All of a sudden?
All of a sudden.
I'll remember that.
So the bottom line is, I just wanted to get back at Rita.
All right, let me see if I have this straight. Rita killed one of your girlfriends, which resulted in her going to prison. Now, years later, somebody shoots you, and you decide to get back at Rita by blaming her. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Like I didn't know who the guy was, and I figured, what the hell? Might as well get back at the bitch.
Man, what made you change your mind? You know, there's a good chance Rita's case will get thrown out if your story holds up.
That's a very good question. Why did I change my mind?
If I might say something, Mr. Randall. Mr. Jones is the kind of man who's afraid he'll appear weak and unmanly if he tells you the real reason for his decision. He has a conscience, and he knows how much Debbie needs her mother.
I pleaded with Daddy to tell the truth, and he did.
Well, if that's the case, I'll get this information to the authorities as soon as I can. I think it'll be a good idea to put it on tape. I'll have one of my assistants bring over a video camera. Oh, I also asked Officer Vernon to wait outside.
Wait, that cop that arrested Rita, what do you need him for?
Well, you have to realize the court doesn't take false accusations very lightly. I mean, after all, that is how you put your wife back inside.
Just a second. Are you telling me by making this statement that I could end up on the inside?
Well, yes, it's very possible. I thought you were aware of that.
No, Counselor, I wasn't aware of it. No. I've been set up. I've been set up. That's it. No more games. Get back. There's no statement. There's no following me. There's nothing. You got that? No statement. No statement. Sissy!
No, don't. He must be crazy.
Yeah, I'll be back as soon as I can, Chief. John Randall wanted me to stay around here for a little while.
Move! Shut up! You keep your mouth shut, or I'll shoot. Come on.
Jerry says he's in trouble outside. There's a man with a gun. Hurry!
Come on, damn it! Freeze! Freeze, hell! I've been kidnapped, I'm telling you, by a bunch of loonies in there!
Let the lady go.
Lady? Hell, I'm telling you, she tried to blow my brains out. All right. Come on, give me the keys to the cop car. Come on, I'll let her out down the road. Look, I don't want to hurt her, but I will if I have to.
Sissy!
Ow! Get out! Hit the neck! Hit it! Hit the head! Ow! Ow!
How you doing?
Yeah, all right.
Easy.
Now what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. These witches just tried to murder me.
Oh, please, Mr. Jones. Haven't you caused enough trouble here today?
Joe, the most incredible thing happened. This man.
Don't upset yourself, Sissy.
Upset herself. She just tried to blow my brains out.
Why is he saying these terrible things?
Now, hold it. Let's go back to the beginning here. You came here to visit your daughter, Debbie. Why?
Because she asked me to.
Oh, Daddy, I did not.
You wanted me to sign some modeling form, some contract you had.
What? I haven't got a modeling contract. No one's ever offered me one.
You lying little bitch. Ow!
Now, I want to know exactly why you came here.
What's the use? They're all conspiring against me, even my own daughter. She drugs me. These other bitches drag me into the cellar, tie me in a chair. This one tries to blow my brains out.
He's saying it again.
This guy's crazy.
Me crazy? They're the ones that are crazy. Ask this guy. They forced me to make a confession.
Now, wait a minute. Nobody forced you to do anything, Mr. Jones. What happened, officer, was that Mrs. Meadows called and said that Debbie's father wanted to make a statement. When I arrived, he was contrite and said he lied about his wife shooting him after she got out of jail.
They forced me to say that they had a damn gun on me.
Did you see a gun, Mr. Randall?
No. Well, not until he grabbed Sissy and then he produced one himself.
I didn't produce anything. She had a gun in her pocket.
I don't get it. What was said that made him attack Sissy?
It was incredible, Jerry. One moment he was making a statement, and then Mr. Randall here happened to mention that you were outside, and then he got upset, and a gun appeared, and then he grabbed poor Sissy.
That's pretty much what happened.
And I'd been in the kitchen all day. I only came out to witness something.
Debbie, I'm your father. I demand that you tell this cop the truth.
I told the truth. I don't know what else you want me to say, Daddy. You offered to help get Mom out of jail. Does this mean you've changed your mind?
I hope she rots in jail. All I need is a damn lawyer.
Well, you're gonna need one. Let's go to the station. Joe, why don't you come with me in case he decides to get stupid? Mr. Randall, I'm gonna need a statement from you.
All right.
Come on.
Hey, take it easy. Oh.
Guy's having a nervous breakdown.
Poor guy, just snapped. I wouldn't trust him, Joe.
Don't worry. Sissy with a gun. I've heard everything.
Come on, let's go get some coffee.
He'll never admit he lied now.
Don't you ever do anything like that to me again.
What? What did I do? You were the one that begged me to get Rita out of prison. As far as I'm concerned, she could stay there.
That's all well and good for you to say. You're here safe and sound.
Safe and sound. Safe and sound, Sissy? As long as Ben Cronin's alive, I'll never be safe and sound. Now, who'd like coffee?
Me.
I'll get it.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Ray Jones with that gun. He looked demented.
He had good cause. He was telling Jerry the truth when he told him what happened to him.
Did you really shoot at him, Sissy?
Yes. Mrs. Meadows instructed me to.
Well, how did you know how to fire a gun?
Oh, that's simple. My father was a champion sharpshooter, and I trained under him when I was a child for years. The mistake I made was telling Mrs. Meadows.
Well, Rita'll be so grateful for what you tried to do for Mrs. Meadows. No other boss would go to so much trouble to get an employee out of prison.
Thank you, Crystal. I know how much it meant to you all to get Rita out.
What is so important that we had to leave the card game?
I have decided to tell the warden about your condition.
Oh, damn it, Maria. Now, why are you doing this to me?
You know, you may be comfortable living a lie, but this goes against everything I believe in.
Oh, I see. And are you comfortable living with the fact that you shot me and paralyzed me?
Rita, you are not paralyzed.
I was in the beginning, and I could have been for life.
Yeah, well, now you're faking it. And I'm the one who has to wheel you around this prison and wait on you hand and foot. And if you remind me one more time that I shot you, I am gonna scream.
Oh, some friend. You know that this is the only chance I'll ever have of getting sympathy out of a jury, and you won't keep your big mouth shut until after the trial.
Okay, supposing you get off. You gonna spend the rest of your life in that chair?
Oh, no, of course not. I'll have you wheel me into one of those faith healing meetings. And hallelujah! There'll be a miracle!
Damn it, Rita, you are disgusting.
All right, let's get serious about this. If you had paralyzed me in another fraction of an inch, and you'd have felt awful, wouldn't you?
So, okay.
And I'll just bet you would have spent the rest of your life saying, I'd do anything, if she could just get out of that chair and walk again.
Okay, so
the only thing you can do for me is to keep your big mouth shut until after the trial. And then I will walk again for the whole world to see. Hey, if you'd paralyzed me, you know what I'd forgiven you, don't you? We'll be friends for life after what we've been through together. But friendship is a two-way street.
Okay.
Great. Okay, now wheel me back into that card game. Cedar Lake Inn. Sorry, Mrs. Holland, staying with friends last I heard. Sorry, I haven't seen her. You're welcome.
Hello, Crystal.
I heard you were here, Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, and you didn't come by with a welcoming drink?
You're not getting a welcome from anyone here.
You know, I find this all very intriguing, Crystal. I mean, Holly is here, and you're here, and Sissy almost got gunned down outside the inn this afternoon.
We've all served our time. Why don't you just leave us alone?
Yeah, but it makes me wonder just who I'm going to bump into from Women's State, you know? I just ran into Kath Morris's son over at the bait shop.
Yeah, I heard she stabbed you during that ride.
Well, just above the waist. So if you're ever interested in a little action, you know, my door's always open.
Take my advice. Shut the door.
Oh, I know your type, Crystal. You'll do anything for a fast buck.
You don't like women very much, do you, Mr. Fisher? I wonder why. My experience with men tells me a woman must have hurt you real bad. Was it your wife?
Don't push your luck, Crystal.
Mrs. Meadows, this is Mr. Fisher.
Hello, Mrs. Meadows.
Keep away from Holly, Mr. Fisher.
Well, there's a real nice, friendly atmosphere in this place, Crystal. I think I'll go over to the bar and absorb some more of it. Bourbon, straight up, please, Mrs.
Meadows.
Meadows. Mrs. Meadows. My old friend Crystal, she didn't exactly tell me what you do here. Are you the barmaid?
Sometimes. But I also own this place. And I hold the lease on the cottage you're renting. But if I knew the agent was renting it to you, I would have stopped her.
Now, why is that, Mrs. Meadows? What have I ever done to you?
You came here, Mr. Fisher, and I really wish you'd go.
Well, I'm going to stay for dinner. Cheers. You have a very interesting staff, Mrs. Meadows.
I have an excellent staff, Mr. Fisher.
And they all have one thing in common. They've all been in prison. Does that surprise you?
What surprises me is that you think you're telling me something I don't already know. Mr. Fisher owes for one bourbon. Did you see Fish Face?
Yes, I saw him.
He's staying for dinner. I don't suppose you consider sprinkling rat poison on his salad.
No. But there are hundreds of women who would cheerfully do it.
Well, he's got a lot to answer for. Never forget the way he treated me on the inside.
This isn't goodbye. I'll be waiting for you when you come back.
I'll never be back. And you'll never see me again, I promise you.
They all say it. They all come back. Make the most of it.
Wonder what he'd do if he knew.
He'd blackmail you. That's what he'd do. Next to Ben Cronin, that man in there is the most dangerous threat to our lives.
Well, if Ben didn't recognize me, Fisher certainly won't.
Yes, but Fisher loves to pry. Remember how he used to stroll down the jail corridors? He'd pause and listen, and then he'd walk on, and then he'd pause and listen. There was never any privacy. Nothing was sacred.
Do you remember the time that Rita pretended she had a man in bed with her? All that moaning and groaning made Fisher nuts.
The cell doors opened, the lights went on, and there was Fisher with egg on his face because Rita was sound asleep.
Oh, God. Never want to go back there, Sissy.
I couldn't. I'd die first.
Yeah, I really like this area. You know, it's good to be able to get away somewhere where it's peaceful and quiet.
Yeah, there are worse places.
Here are the dinner menus, Joe.
Thanks, Sissy.
Well, Sissy, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I can't say I'm pleased to see you here.
Well, I'm pleased to see you, Sissy. I hear you're the cook here.
Yes.
What do you recommend?
I recommend you don't stay at Cedar Lake too long.
Well, that's what I always liked about Sissy. She always tells you what she thinks.
Well, I always take her advice. Maybe you should.
I left Ricky running the bait shop. Do you want me to do some more renovations at some of those old cottages?
Yeah. Start painting number 5.
I meant what I said about liking the area. You know, a cottage would suit me real well here. You know, a little place I can go fishing, hunting. Who do I talk to about a place?
I'll tell Mrs. Meadows you're interested.
After the way you talked to that cop in me earlier, I thought maybe you had ownership of this place.
I used to. I sold it. Hi. Sounds like you've had an eventful day.
That's an understatement.
I'll never know why Rita didn't divorce her husband years ago.
Well, she always threatened to back in prison.
Oh? How would you know that? I didn't know Rita confided in you.
Sissy told me, I guess.
That guy's lucky Jerry didn't kill him when he was dragging Sissy out of here.
Yeah, well, with any luck, they'll put him away for a few years and he'll know what Rita went through.
Yeah. He and Fisher could share the same cell.
God, I hate that man.
He seems like a normal guy.
I don't know what he was like in that jail. Sissy told me he put them all through hell.
Well, I hope he doesn't make our lives hell here at Cedar Lake. He just asked about extending his booking at one of the cottages.
Over my dead body. All right, then I'll just warn the agent that the cottage isn't available.
You need the money. So don't forget to renew the leases on the cottages.
I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna make Wilson an offer.
You're thinking about buying them?
Sure, why not? It's a good investment. It's almost on my land, and Fisher can go to hell if he ever wants to stay there again.
Just one slight problem. Where are you going to get the money?
That is not a problem, Joe. Hello, Mr. Wilson. Hi, it's Patricia Meadows. Thanks. Listen, I was wondering if I could come over and talk to you about the cottages. No, it's not about a renewal on the lease. Actually, I was thinking about buying them, if we could agree on a fair price. Really? Sure, I could be there in an hour. It's terrific. See you then.
What's going on, Patricia?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You come to the inn, you hide your money in the cellar, it gets stolen. You tell me you're broke. Then you create $10,000 to bail Sissy out of jail. Then you create $50,000 to buy Goddard's bait shop boats.
You're not telling me anything I don't already know,
Then tell me
Joe.
something that I don't know. Where the hell are you going to get the money to buy those cottages?
First of all, I am going to make sure that Wilson is asking a fair price. And then I'll see if I can find the money.
Hi, can I butt in?
Sure.
Joe, it's about Karen. Have you heard from her today?
No, I haven't.
Well, neither has anyone else. It's like she's disappeared.
Talking about Mrs. Holland?
Yeah, have you heard from her?
No, but I got a phone call from somebody looking for her.
It's not been quite 24 hours, but if you hear anything from her, give me a call, will you?
Sure.
Oh, hi, Debbie.
Jerry, can I talk to you, please?
Yeah, sure. Come on over here.
You don't think she'll tell Jerry what really happened to her father, do you?
No. She's just concerned.
Yeah.
And I respect her for it.
Yeah, well, whatever she thought about him, he's still her father. And I know she feels terrible about him getting arrested like that.
Now, don't waste your sympathy on Ray Jones. He threw that child in the street when she needed him most.
Well, you did threaten to kill him, Sissy.
Yes, but I was only trying to get Rita out of prison.
Yeah, well, Rita didn't deserve what he tried to do to her. And anyway, did you really think he was gonna kill you when he dragged you outside like that?
Yes, I did. He's a monster.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there's never a dull moment around here. All that yelling and shooting with Ray Jones and Joe's wife disappearing, and then Faith Cronin's body never showing up, and Tony Osorio dying. I mean, everybody's going. Who's gonna be next, Sissy?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
The next person to disappear if she's not careful is you.
What your father did, Debbie, was very dangerous and serious.
Will he go to prison?
Well, it's up to a judge to decide, but it is possible. You want me to arrange for your mother to know?
No. I'll tell her.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Debbie. Oh, it's so good to see you.
How are you?
I'm fine, just fine. Maria looks after me all the time.
Thanks, Maria. It's really great knowing you're here with Mom, because I keep worrying about her having to live in this wheelchair.
Yes, well, why don't you two sit over here and you can both have a good long talk.
Okay.
Debbie, how'd you get here?
Brad drove me over. He's waiting outside. Joe let us use his truck.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Mom, Dad came to see me at the inn this morning.
Did what? I don't want that skunk anywhere near you. You understand me?
It's okay, Mom. Sissy and Mrs. Meadows thought they could talk him into changing his story about you shooting him.
That must be soft in the head. He'd die before he'd do that.
Well, he did agree at one point, but then he sort of changed his mind.
Of course he changed his mind. They're wasting their time on that slime bag. Listen, I don't want you ever to see him again. You understand?
Yeah. Anyway, I think he's going away for a while, so...
That's good news.
Frida, why don't you tell Debbie your good news?
I don't have any good news, Maria.
Mom, what is it?
Oh, it's just, well, I have a cell all of my own now. More privacy.
That's great. You know, Brad and I were talking on the way over here, and he said it might be possible to get Mrs. Meadows to let us have one of those first-floor cottages when you get out. He said he'd build a little ramp for the wheelchair.
No. I don't want you to even think about things like that right now.
Well, I hardly think about anything else.
Rita, I'm gonna step outside for a moment. So just in case you want to talk to Debbie about anything in private, which I know you will, now's the time to do it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. I'll be right outside.
Mom. Debbie, if I show you something, will you promise on your father's life not to say anything unless I tell you to?
Sure.
I want you to sit back in your chair and look at my legs. Don't say anything, just look.
That smile on your face ever since we left the prison.
It was just so great seeing Mom and knowing she's getting better.
Do you think she'll ever get really better?
Yes. Yes, I do, Brad. I know she will.
Debbie, don't build your hopes up too much. Sometimes you gotta face up to the fact that there are no real happy endings.
You're talking about your own Mom, aren't you?
The cards are really stacked against her. I don't think they'll ever let her out. She kinda attracts trouble all the time.
What was she like before she went to jail?
I don't know. Her and my father packed me off to boarding school as soon as they could. I only ever saw them on holidays. I used to make up stories about, to impress the kids about how happy we were as a family. But the fact was that I never really felt like they wanted me.
I don't believe that. I mean, they couldn't help wanting you.
It's funny. It's only when I went back to the jail to see her that she told me that she loved me. I never remember her or my father saying that when I was a kid.
I'm sorry, Brad. That must have been terrible. My mom's always told me that she loves me.
Some mothers do, and some mothers don't.
Holly, keep an eye on reception, would you? Some guy in room 10 wants a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, Crystal, you're just in time.
Ooh, it's great, Joe.
Well, there you are. From now on, when you want a bottle of wine, you just walk down the stairs, walk right over here. You don't have to trip over anything, and get one.
Well, let me be the first to try it. I need a bottle of Richmond Grove.
Well, be my guest.
Okay. Here it is, right here.
No. Are you all right, Crystal?
Yeah, I'm really sorry, Joe. What happened? Well, I leaned on the new wine rack and it went right over. What should we do, Joe?
No, just leave it. I'll clean it up.
Can I have...
No. You've helped enough.
Okay. Sorry. Look, Mrs. Meadows, I can explain.
Explain what?
What happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
The new wine rack.
To hell with the new wine rack. Where's Joe?
In the cellar.
Right.
Before you say anything, I can explain.
Joe, I am so mad I could spit.
It was an accident.
I just left old Wilson. We already sold one of the cottages.
Sold one? How could he have sold one? You own the leases on that.
Well, when the lease expires, a new owner takes over one of the cottages.
Didn't you make Wilson an offer on it?
He wouldn't hear it. He'd already sold it.
Shoot. Well, it's not the end of the world. If I know you, he probably sold you the other ones, right? Oh, come on. Lighten up.
I'm sorry. Truce?
Truce.
Ask me who bought it.
Okay. Who bought it?
Jack Fisher.
What?
We'll have that man breathing down our necks for the rest of our lives.
Not necessarily. You could have me breathing down your neck for the rest of your life. If you want me to.
I want you to.
Morning, Holly.
What do you want?
Well, I'm expecting a phone call from my lawyer. If he does call, I want you to tell him, please, that I won't be back until sundown. I'm going to try to get in a little hunting.
Killing some defenseless animals, Mr. Fisher?
Oh, so you're an animal lover, huh? I might have guessed that. It's a pity your compassion doesn't extend to your fellow man.
Don't talk to me about compassion.
Do you realize that testifying against me could ruin my life?
I hope I do.
Well, I hope you don't. Because if I have to leave the prison service, Holly, I am going to live right here in Cedar Lake. I just bought that cottage just across the way. And everywhere you turn, you will see me looking at you.
Holly, what is it? What happened?
Sissy?
Honey, do you want me to call Jerry and have him come up here?
No, thanks.
Oh, if I knew where Fisher went, I'd go after him right now and make sure he never comes near you again.
I'm all right now, Sissy.
Here, honey, drink this. Mrs. Meadows says that you are to stay in here and rest.
There's nothing wrong with me, Crystal.
Well, you could have fooled me, trembling and white as a sheet, and all because he had to remind you of what he did to you in that prison.
Thanks for bringing the water, Crystal.
Fisher's got lots of problems, you know that. And I'll just bet you a woman caused him. I was talking to this girl, and she told me he was married, and when he got out of the army...
Crystal, come on, let's let Holly rest now.
Sure. You just take it easy, honey. It's wrong for rapists like Fisher to go unpunished.
Help! Somebody! Help! Over here, someone!
Holly! Holly! Help me. Come here. Look, there's been an accident here and I got a rock slide and I can't move. Will you help me? Go down to the inn and get some help. Holly. Huh? I can't move. Holly, now look, don't do anything silly now. Come on. I know how you feel, but this isn't going to solve anything. So, I can't move, I'm telling you. My leg is broken. So let's just go down to that inn and get me some help. Come on, please. Please. Thanks. Go ahead. Thanks, Holly.
Hi. Did you have a nice walk?
Oh, yes, thanks. I feel much better now.
You see that? I told you a walk would do her a world of good.
Yes, it has. It really has.
Hey, you wouldn't be up for talking about your engagement party, would you?
Oh, I'd love to.
Great. Come over here. I want to show you what I've got. I want to talk to you about the balloons and the decorations and the cake. Now, I was thinking lavender and purple.
Next on Dangerous Women.
So, I understand you're replacing Jack Fisher?
You know, I got a damn good mind to report you for the way you just treated that woman out there.
What?
I've seen some people with bad attitudes before, lady, but you really take the cake.
Oh, you look so good.
Well, I don't feel so good.
Why? What's wrong?
You know what's wrong. I miss you, Crystal.
I miss you, too.
Oh. You didn't tell anybody that I was here, did you? Why, Holly? Why are you doing...